It's time to enter the world of real estate in Oahu with Hawaii's only true real estate radio show, the Team Lally Real Estate Show. Grab a pen and get ready.
You can reach us at 799-9596 or check us out online at teamlally.com.
Well, hey, everybody. This is that part of the show, Attilio's Random Thoughts. These are things that I'm thinking about through the week to bring to you right at the beginning of the show, something that's helpful, but it's how can it be helpful? There's only one way it can be helpful.
If you listen or take notes or execute on it.
That's it.
Execution.
You can be listening, you can take notes, but if you don't do anything with it, it doesn't matter what I tell you. I could tell you one of my dad jokes. I think they're hilarious. The problem is nobody else does. But that's not going to be helpful for you. So I'm going to not go with the dad joke, and I'm going to tell you about, there's the kids, parents, it's a battle. Parents, it's a battle. I'll say it twice, emphasis. The phones, the social media, the everything else. We're going to have a guest on today talking about Winners Camp. And it's a camp that you can send your kid to, and then they're going to like it so much that they'll want to come back to be in a leadership role. But here's what I want to talk to you about. A lot of times you as a parent, there's different kind of parent models, right? There's the cave-in parent. I just cave in, give them whatever they want. There's the dictator parent. Why do I have to put my phone down? Because I said so.
Or the drill sergeant parents.
Well, it's the same, dictator, and then there's the negotiating parent, and then there's what we call the parent, who's the adult. And so, there are these things that you can send your kids to. They're gonna, sports are great for the physical aspects of their life, but unless you got Tony Robbins as your kid's soccer coach, they're going to get what they need out of their sports and the physical activity. And, for at least, if the soccer game's 45 minutes or 90 minutes or whatever it is, at least, for that duration, they're not on these stinking phones.
Mm-hmm. There was on Super Soul Sunday with Oprah, she had an author on.
Stealing Your Focus.
Yes, the stolen focus.
Yeah. And
just it's a really kind of a scary and interesting, study that he's written this book on.
Well, here's what the scientists are saying. You think it's just your kid acting like a little crackhead with that iPhone? It's going down. It's going down to the physiology of their brain makeup and getting into the neural pathways of their brain. Mm-hmm. They figured it out how to keep your kids so cracky with these phones that they can't put them down.
It's not just the kids though, like adults too. I mean,
and adults.
But
I have no problems taking my phone and throwing it. I am going to go on a scout trip. If those of you out there are scouters, I love, and I'm still going to call it the Boy Scouts of America. It was that way for 100 years, though it's now Scouts of America because, and some people think that girls were never in scouting. That's not true. There were venture crews, the older ones, and then from the 70s forward, they allowed female leadership. But now it's open to all, which is fine. But with the Boy Scouts of America, there was always this debate. Should we let the scouts bring their phones with them on the campouts? And I was one of the dads that always said, no. What is the point?
They need a break.
Yeah, here's what the boys would say. Oh, I need the phone to wake up. No, me flipping your tent over and saying, get up, we'll get you up. More so than the iPhone alarm that you keep hitting the snooze on anyway. And no, I didn't flip any boys' tents over, but if they weren't getting up, it was me or a grizzly bear shaking their tent. Most times it was me. And they would get up. And so what I'm telling you is that you've got to get your kids, you've got to fight the battle with these phones. Get them to camps where just tell them. No matter what camp they go to, tell them, you know what?
No phones.
No phones. They're not allowed.
Give them one of those disposable cameras. You can get them on Amazon.
They're like, I gotta take pictures.
Here's a
You know, those are
disposable
coming
camera.
back with the kids. They like
the-
taking those
Or
pictures.
the little Polaroid ones.
Yeah.
Those are fun.
Get them a digital camera.
Oh yeah, it's like all very retro now.
Yeah, that's not connected to anything or whatever. Yeah, they love that stuff.
They do.
The digital camera is like the record album of our day, the typewriter. Kids are like, what's a record album? What's a typewriter? Anyway, and then the last thing I want to share with you from my book that I'm promoting here, that I get no royalties from, How Not to Die, Discover the Food Scientifically Proven to Prevent and Reverse Disease by Dr. Michael Gregoire. And one of them he talks about is exercise versus antidepressants. We've known for decades, and I'm going to keep going till you go like that, and we've known for decades that a single workout can elevate mood and that physical activity is associated with decreased symptoms of depression. One study, nearly 5,000 people, not 5 of your knucklehead friends making comments on Facebook, but a study of nearly 5,000 people across the country, for example, found that people who exercise regularly had 25% lower odds of major depression diagnosis. Of course, studies like these may not mean that exercise reduces depression. Maybe it means that depression reduces exercise. In other words, if you're depressed, you might feel too lousy to get out of bed and go for a walk. What was needed to test this idea was an interventional study, one in which depressed subjects were split at random, parentheses, randomized into 2 groups, one that exercised and one that didn't. What do they mean by randomized? You take a group of people and you randomly put them into 2 groups. What are they accomplishing by doing that?
They're
not looking at you and go, oh, you're skinny and fit, we'll put you over here.
There's no
You're kind of
bias.
fluffy, we'll put you over here. No, it was random. Fluffy, skinny, whatever, ugly, fat, fluffy. Sorry, so I'm not supposed to say fat. It's not PC. Fluffy, good looking, whatever. You never exercise in a day in your life. You exercise every day, all random. That's what a team of researchers from Duke University. Is Duke pretty credible?
Yeah.
Yeah. Attempted, not an online university. They randomly assigned depression men and women aged 50 or older to either begin an aerobic exercise program or take the antidepressant drug sertraline, brand name Zoloft. Within 4 months, the mood of those in the drug group improved so much that they were on average no longer depressed. Mood of those in the drug group. But the same powerful effect was found in the exercise group, that is, the group of people who weren't taking any drugs. Exercise, it seemed, works about as well as medication. Let's play the devil's advocate for a moment.
Wait a second, though. But those people that were exercising versus the one that were not, so they were all happy, but one group was fit and probably feeling even better, right? Than the other one that was just taking the pills.
Well, you take the pharmaceuticals, you feel better. You take the exercise, you feel better.
But you look better too if you also, and then your body,
I don't know
your
of
body
any.
feels better too
I don't
if
know
you're
of
doing
any
exercise.
antidepressant drug that helps you lose weight. I don't know of any antidepressant drug. And by the way, when you go to the gym, do they have like, by the way, caution, may cause diarrhea, bleeding from the eyeballs,
No.
and all the other stuff that you see. Do you ever see like Planet Fitness? They're reading out, by the way, and then you read all that stuff at the end, like they do with the drug commercials?
No.
No. So,
But I guess you could get hurt if you use the machines improperly.
well, I mean, you could trip and crack your head open, opening up your Zoloft pill bottle in the middle of the night. Let's play devil's advocate for a moment. The drug-free group in the Duke study met 3 times a week for an exercise class. We're not talking training for a marathon. 3 times a week. We spend more time watching stinking episodes, binge watching stuff on Netflix in one night than working out 3 times a week. Me, guilty. I've done it before. The drug-free group in the Duke study met 3 times a week for exercise. Could the social stimulation rather than the exercise have improved their mood?
Yes, probably that too.
With this question in mind, the same researchers subsequently conducted the largest ever exercise trial of patients with depression. This time they added a group. So one group took antidepressants, one group took exercise classes, and a new group did exercise by themselves at home. No social interaction. The results, no matter the setting, whether the subjects were alone or in a group, exercise appeared to work about as well as drugs at bringing depression into remission. So before your doctor writes you a prescription with all those nasty side effects, diarrhea, bleeding from the eyeballs, for an antidepressant, ask about prescribing daily workout instead. Here's the challenge. What's the problem with 40% of doctors?
That they just don't
They're
have-
overweight.
and maybe they haven't taken that training about these other solutions besides, prescription drugs.
Diet and exercise in medical school training probably represents, I know diet, less than 1% of their medical training.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of someone that just uplifts you and is just, you know what? They're going to create a workout program, which is make your home look nicer.
Yes. So
Who's that?
we have Chastity with American Floor and Home with her tip of the week.
Hi. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Okay. Awesome. So actually today I want to talk about making, I want to give you guys some exercise, but let's do it quick and easy by putting new flooring down. It's something called loose lay vinyl. So basically, usually luxury vinyl flooring has a click and lock system, right?
Yeah.
So it's a floating floor. This one here is loose lay vinyl. So you don't need to click and lock anything. And it just basically is planks that has a rubber backing and it just goes side by side. So very easy to install. In case you do, let's just say, damage like your middle flooring plank.
Yeah.
You can just lift that one plank up and replace that plank. You don't have to go from wall to plank.
Nice.
Nice. Loose. What did you call it? Loose what?
Loose lay.
Loose lay.
Loose lay flooring. So this is not the flooring that goes out to nightclubs, has issues with commitment. This is the flooring. This is the flooring that don't you wish you could like with people? You know what? There's a part of you I don't like. Can we swap that out? Your grumpy attitude. Can we swap that piece out? They should make that for
If you
people.
want.
This flooring.
Yeah, so if you don't want commitment, right?
Yeah. Switch that out. We're putting commitment tile in you. That's cool. I was just funny that you mentioned that because I was at the gym with my son and I said, why? Yeah, because I know the answer, but I never tell my kids anything. I ask them questions. How come you think all the carpet in here is in squares? He goes, I don't know, because it's just, he was saying something. I was like, think about it. Oh, because it's easy to install. And I said, what's the reverse of that? It's easy to take out. Yeah, because if somebody damages one piece, you just take out that piece.
You don't have to do the whole thing.
So the commercial industry has figured it out. And that's probably where that came from.
I love this.
Yeah. It's so great too because you don't have to worry about it like warping, and you can just glue it down if you want to, but still really easy to take off, and then you just glue down the perimeter if you want everything to be loose. You don't have to worry so much about expanding and all of that expansion gaps. It's really, you can just like buck it up directly to the wall, put it down, the end. You don't have to worry about all of that.
So if you send your kids to circus school and they're like, Mom, I learned how to juggle chainsaws. Oops. I just chainsaw one section of the flooring. Not a problem, son. Daughter, we can replace that.
Exactly. So I'm like, go ahead.
So send your kids to circus school is the whole point. No.
So with this with the loose lay flooring, is there quite a bit of styles and colors, like the same amount that you can choose from, or tell us more about that?
So we do have two different brands. We have our in-house Pacifica collection with loose lay that we do show different types of woods. We have light grays, some taupey colors. We have some that looks like linen, very clean looks. And then we also have Carndean loose lay that we're able to still show. So that was very popular for us. So we have a lot of different woods and tile looks too. Yeah. So yes, essentially it's not as massive of a selection as we do have like, your click and lock luxury vinyl flooring, but we do have great selection of flooring that's readily available for the loose lay.
I think you guys should have get that license by the NFL or the NBA, so you can have you can have a Raiders tiles you can put down, and then when you're upset with them, you can go back to the Cowboys. You can replace that, and then
change out every Super Bowl. Yeah,
that's my idea. You can take it for free and mention it to them. We want NFL, NBA, loose lay tile.
Replaceable tiles.
So we can show our fandom. Well, that's awesome and always good news, you guys. And I know, you guys have been working on the remodeling of the showroom. How's that coming along?
It's doing great, and we definitely have cleared out a few different rooms. So for a lot of our clients who have visited us so often, they're like, "Wait a minute, your tile room is in the opposite area of the showroom." Yeah. We're already breaking down. We have our electricians hard at work, so it looks a little interesting. Thankfully, they start early, so we don't have a lot of the noise right now. But yeah, come on in. It's still really nice showroom. We have a lot of things to still show, so it's good.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
It's been going good.
I think a big plus with you guys too is with COVID, like everything's back ordered with we won't say who, the other people, the other big box
But
people.
you guys have it all there. You have this huge warehouse filled
I think
with.
you have the largest warehouse on island for
in the
and stuff
States.
like that. In the
States.
Yeah, in fact,
we do, and actually, we just got another warehouse.
What?
Because we're so
it's so huge that the FBI actually found Jimmy Hoffa. Was in some carpet. He was rolled up. He was rolled up in the back somewhere. But no.
We're like, oh, we forgot you in there.
Yeah.
All exciting things. So thank you, Chastity, for calling in and sharing about the loose lay flooring and then this additional warehouse with even more supplies. So we will not run out when we're working with American Floor and Home.
So you listeners out there, promise when you go down there, as soon as you walk in the showroom, we want you to go, "Ooh, I'm here to see Chastity."
Yes, we love
I heard
that.
about you on the Team Lally show.
Oh yes, we love that. Come on in. Yeah.
Make sure her back is not turned to you and she has a hot cup of coffee in her hand. Though. Don't do it then.
Oh
yeah, don't surprise her like that.
Don't surprise her like that.
Yeah, don't.
All right, thank you, Chastity.
Thank you. Alrighty. Bye.
All right, so you can get a hold of Chastity and her team by going to our website, teamlally.com. And under the resource tab, we've got the experts we trust.
Speaking of someone, if your kids are going off to college and they need a couple extra points on their SAT scores, they should listen whenever this person is on the show. And why?
Because she's the mortgage genius.
She's the mortgage genius.
From Pacific Rim Mortgage.
Yeah. Jody, are you there?
I'm here.
What you got for us?
I wanted to, for all of our buyers that are not necessarily looking for a single family home, so townhouse or condo, I wanted my tip to be focused on that type of property.
Mm-hmm.
And the best tip that I could think of was to remind everyone that it's not just the loan that you have to qualify for. The bank also cares about the strength of the project as a whole. So when it's not a single family home, right? You don't get to just be like, well, this is my house and I'm taking care of my house, so I don't really have to worry about what my neighbors are doing.
Mm-hmm.
When it is a condo or a townhouse, you are a homeowner within a whole bunch of other homeowners. Yeah. So we call that like a homeowners association.
You're within the regime.
Yes.
So the strength of the association.
Yeah.
So what do they look at?
The association.
Yeah. What do they look at specifically, Jody?
One of the most important factors are directly related to the monthly payments that you make aside from your mortgage payment. So when you're looking on the Team Lally website and you're seeing these condos and townhouses and there's an HOA due or a maintenance fee,
mm-hmm.
Those fees, everyone, all the homeowners pay that fee, and those fees get divvied or dispersed amongst all the types of expenses associated with running this association. And so that's something that the bank is going to pay attention to in terms of making sure that the budget makes sense and there are requirements from a lending perspective as to if you are collecting $50,000 in a small project a month and you're spending $52,000, that's a problem because you're spending more than the association is even collecting. Furthermore, the banks actually do want to see a 10% reserve. a 10% leftover. So if you're collecting $50,000 a month, they really only want to see your overall expenses to be less than or equal to $45,000, so that you have that leftover.
So what happens if like the association is not so good with their budgeting and their spending? What do lenders do?
They just won't lend on the project. And so that would then lead us to a different type of financing, which would be a portfolio type of loan. So it doesn't make it impossible. It is possible, but it does make it more difficult, and there could be direct impacts to such things as your interest rate or the amount of money that you need as a down. So one of our buyers that we had qualified back in March just called me today, and come to find out they, for some unknown reason, chose to work with another lender. And they were supposed, so they were supposed to close. And actually, I do know why, because he didn't want to give me all the paperwork I was asking for. So rather than just have a upfront conversation, like, I don't want to give you all that paperwork, but how far can we get without giving you all this paperwork? Instead of doing that, he just kind of like ghosted me, and so they went with someone else that didn't require the paperwork. But long story short, she didn't look at the budget, and now they can't close, and they were supposed to close in like 3 days.
Oh,
so
Cue the Homer Simpson.
Yeah, it's a bummer. I mean, and these are things, honestly, as a lender, speaking to anyone else that's a lender that's listening, these are things that need to be done preliminarily, and these are things that need to be done and explained to our buyers, our customers, to explain to them why it's important and why we hound, and you guys know that we're always like, well, where's the condo docs? We need the budget. We need to review the budget. Did you get it yet? And, we always follow up, because there's really important, significant data that directly is going to impact the loan and our mutual clients. So that's
an idea for your...
Read those condo docs.
Read those condo docs. You having a hard time getting to sleep?
The buyers.
Forget about melatonin. Read the condo docs.
Buyer agents, lenders.
Yeah.
I mean,
you got to read them.
The budget is in there, but then also, I mean, we've not seen this a whole lot now, but we may start seeing this again. But when there's a delinquency rate that's higher than a certain percentage,
what's the percentage?
Or there's a rate of there's a high rate of renters versus owners. So there's
owner occupancy and delinquency rate.
Yeah, there's red flags. You have to read through the condo docs.
Yeah.
Jody had an idea for a commercial for you. So you're going to be like talking to your kids. You need to brush your teeth. I don't want to brush my teeth. And then you cue to you're in your office. You need to give me your W-2s. I don't want to give you my W-2s. Then you back home at your kids. Hey, you need to eat your vegetables. I don't want to eat my vegetables. Then back in the office, we need your pay stubs. I don't want to provide you my pay stubs. I think that would be a good commercial.
I do too. and so, so he goes, I know you said that I was going to call you, call you at some point in time after, because you might be in trouble. And he goes, and I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm calling you because we're in trouble. And I'm just like, so now we're trying to come in and save the day, but we don't like doing that. We want to work.
Well, there's fire. I learned this from my dad. There's fire prevention, and then there's your house is fully engulfed in flames. Which would you prefer?
The prevention.
Prevention.
Just work with Jody and give her the paperwork up front, please.
Yeah.
Just do it.
You're like the workout coach. We hate you and we love you. We hate you and we don't want to work out, but we love you and we get the results.
That's right. And the results is a home and an awesome loan and closing on time.
Yep.
That's it. You got to do the paperwork. Simple. Between life in general, between you and whatever goal that you want to achieve, there's going to be a lot of uncomfortable things that you don't want to do. Have you ever had between me and the goal is like eating candy. Between me and my goal of fitness is like binge watching The Umbrella Academy. I think they're in their second. They have a bunch of seasons now. I don't know. We just started on one with my son. I said only one every night.
Mm-hmm.
Only one every night. And they keep jumping around because one of the kids can time travel, and they're like, everybody's dead. I'm like, what? We're only in the second episode. How can everybody be dead? But anyway. So the point of this is, I like one of our coaches in bold training. Her name was Diana Kokosa. She said this: "You'll know I'm telling you the truth." Jody, you can use this one. You know I'm telling you the truth because it feels uncomfortable, and you always want me to tell you the truth, don't you?
That's right.
We need the paperwork. You got to give us the paperwork.
So
and you have to understand the importance of these different condos and townhouse projects that you're interested in.
Yeah, people will come to you all the time, right? They come to us. I want to buy a home. Okay, this is what you got to do. They don't want to do the stuff that you need to do to buy the home. You don't want to buy a home.
You got to do the work.
You don't want to buy a home.
You got to do the work. You want to be the home.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Jody.
Thanks, Jody.
Thanks, guys.
All right. So that's Jody Tonga with Pacific Rim Mortgage, the mortgage genius. You can find her on our website under the resource tab and experts we trust.
Yeah, we use Jody on everything. If we're like trying to do something, we ask her if she can do it.
All right. Well, we are going to take a break, but stay with us. When we come back, we'll be talking to Delorese Gregoire of Winners Camp Foundation. She's going to share with us all about the reopening of Winners Camp.
So stay with us.
Decades 107.9 playing the greatest music ever made. It's Mornings with Augie Chess. Can I ask you this? What would you do with an extra $50,000?
Oh, pay off my bills.
Oh, a lot of people right now in this time right now would do a lot with $50,000.
Yeah.
So Edward needed to pay his bills and make his work transfer to the mainland a little easier. But the condo in Kapolei at Kekulani Villas, he had to sell that first, Chaz. So he reached out to our friends, Adrian Lally and Attilio Leonardi of Team Lally Real Estate Group of Keller Williams, Honolulu. They gave him a 5-star marketing strategy, received several offers. In only 9 days, Edward accepted an offer that was $50,000 over asking.
What's that again?
Also earned the title of the highest condo sale within the complex. So if you're in a market to sell your home and you want a team that will make you the most money with the least amount of drama, you can trust our friends, Adrian and Attilio of Team Lally. Give them a call today, 799-9596. That's 799-9596. Or you can visit them at teamlally.com, spelled Lally. That's teamlally.com.
Hello, Hawaii. It's Colin Coward. Things may have changed in the sports world, but the games must go on. Look, I invest in real estate all over America, and right now, with the ultra-low interest rates everywhere, if you're serious about selling your home, you need to talk to my friends Adrian Lally and Attilio Leonardi of Team Lally, real estate group of Keller Williams, Honolulu. Team Lally's incredible marketing with 3D tours and its huge database of buyers has continued to sell homes quickly with multiple offers over the asking price. Adrian and Attilio continue to spend tens of thousands per month on marketing to attract hundreds of buyers every month using a unique app that communicates daily with over 3 million luxury home buyers around the United States. Adrian and Attilio guarantee to sell your home at a price and deadline you agree to, or they'll buy it themselves. Give Adrian and Attilio a call at 799-9596 or online at teamlally.com. That's teamlally.com. And start packing.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. To sell your home on time for the most money, you need a sharp agent with a marketing strategy that creates the most demand. Bottom line, you need a partner willing to put their own money on the line for you. In Hawaii, I would hire Adrian Lally and Attilio Leonardi. Their marketing strategy is so effective that if your home doesn't sell on terms you agree to, Team Lally will buy it. Partner with the team I trust. Go online or call and get your home sold.
Hey, it's your friend Sean Hannity, and as you know, I am not afraid to be honest and say exactly what I feel. When it comes to selling your home, you need to know there are real estate agents out there that just rely on yard signs, well, and a few $100s in marketing. I'm going to make this very easy for you and tell you about a team of real estate agents whose marketing plan is in a whole different league than anyone else you will talk to. I'm talking about Adrian Lally and Attilio Leonardi of Team Lally Real Estate Group of Keller Williams, Honolulu. Now, Adrian and Attilio spend thousands of dollars every month and attract hundreds of buyers every week. Now, because of that, if they can't sell your home at a price and deadline that you agree to, they will buy your home. Real estate mogul and Shark Tank star Barbara Corcoran only recommends Team Lally in Hawaii. And if I needed to sell a home in Hawaii, well, I would call Team Lally. Call Team Lally now at 799-9596 or online at teamlally.com. That's teamlally.com. And consider your home sold.
If you're looking for an outstanding insurance agent that will personally help you during the moment of truth, we recommend Bradley Maruyama with Allstate Insurance.
So, Attilio, what do you mean by the moment of truth?
Well, the best insurance is the insurance you never have to use. But we know that's not how life works. So when life happens, you can count on Bradley and his team to exceed your expectations for your insurance needs.
Keep in mind that when buying a home, the cost of home insurance should be taken into consideration. I trust Bradley with my own personal home, so you should give him a call. Call Bradley with Allstate Insurance at 591-8016. Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed Sold program, or we'll buy it. I'm Adrian.
And I'm Attilio.
And if you have any questions, just give us a call at 799-9596 or check us out online at teamlally.com.
Well, hey, Delorese, welcome to the show.
Delorese, we have an intro.
We have an intro?
Yes.
Oh, I forgot the intro.
Yes, let's give her the intro.
Did you read the first part?
Our guest today has a rich history of working with teenagers and their families as president and founder of the Hawaii Study Tours, which brought students from around the world to study in Hawaii. In 1985, she directed a team of enthusiastic educators and created Winners Camp Foundation, and it continues to be her driving focus.
Please welcome our guest, the founding director of Winners Camp Foundation. I'm saying like
Delorese.
I'm saying Delorese, and it's Delorese.
Delorese.
But that's what happens when your brain sees something and thinks something else.
Delorese.
Yeah, you know, Delorese, how do you say your last name?
Gregoire.
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 Is that French?
Think of Renoir Gregoire.
Okay. So we talked about it. Yeah. We talked about it in the beginning of the show, how it's important to get these kids off of this technology and into a camp where they can disconnect.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about how did you end up in Hawaii and why did you start this camp?
Oh, okay. Making a long story short, I saw Arthur Godfrey. You're too young to know who he is, but think about Oprah Winfrey of the 50s and was filming in Hawaii. And I said, I was living in a foster home in the East Coast. And I said, when I grow up, I'm going to go live in Hawaii. And so I worked 3 jobs and saved all the money I could, because then, can you imagine, in the 60s, $980 was a lot of money. And so I worked and saved it, and when I was 18, I landed here. I got a job right away at Tahitian Lanai, and my life has been wonderful ever since.
And you said Arthur was playing like a ukulele?
Yeah, Arthur Godfrey playing the ukulele and having hula dances on his show. It was pretty spectacular in those days. Now it's kind of common.
Yeah.
But it was in those days, it was, can you imagine a little girl I was only 8 years old and watching TV and seeing the islands and that's why I know the power of setting goals. I set a goal when I was 8 years old to get here, and at 18, I landed here.
And you've been here ever since. Now, in 1985, when you decided to start Winners Camp, tell us a little bit about that story. What was that driving force to get that started?
Well, I was in a seminar being put on by Marshall Server, who was a protege of Buckminster Fuller. Buckminster Fuller was considered the planet's friendly genius, and he invented the geodesic domes and all kind of stuff. But for those who don't know him, just think of him as in the planet-friendly genius and moving forward to what does it mean to be a human being and how are you showing up in the game of life? Are you a giver or are you a taker? And what do you want to be? And I knew I always wanted to be a giver.
So going through that training and that experience that sparked the idea to give back to the community through mentoring these teens.
Yes, of course. Think about this. If you're in your 30s and you have an epiphany, but if you have an epiphany when you're in 13 and you know you want to be a human being that contributes to the success of the planet, can you imagine how full your teenage years would be instead of just being out? You know, it's just an amazing thing for teenagers to go through. It gives them a sense of purpose, a place at the table, and something to be proactive.
You know, I would say that you're like the Willy Wonka with the chocolate factory, because when the kids go up the hill, by the way, your camp's located at the top of the coal house, right? So when they go up the hill, they're like Veruca Salt. Remember Veruca?
With the bubble gum.
She's like, Daddy, I want that. Everything was Daddy, I want that. And when they come back down the hill, they're more like Charlie. And Charlie got the factory because he gave back what he was told to steal, and he gave it back. And Willy Wonka said, "You get the factory."
Metaphor.
Yeah.
You don't know what a great metaphor. Do you know we have something called the it's the event that's called the chocolate, you know, and so and all the kids have to get across this chocolate river and then get on the other side and how the only way they can get there is by all working together.
Yes.
So
Wonka is really good.
Give them a Wonka bar at the end if they make it.
That would be really good.
So I'm glad that you brought that up, Delorese's physical activities that they do. Now, we had you on our Friday Live yesterday, and we talked a little bit about the different aspects of the camp and what the campers will expect to learn with their time, their time with you. So let's talk a little bit about the physical aspect. What will they do?
It's not about sitting down in chairs and listening. It's about participation. So when we talk about trust, we don't just say, oh, you need to be a trustworthy human being, because that just goes in one ear and out the other. But if they do an activity like the trust ball, where everybody has to trust each other to catch each other, then that's a real demonstration of trust. It's not just the word spoken, but it's the activity and, keeping your word to be a trustworthy man, a trustworthy woman. Yeah. That's just one thing. Then there's the 7 habits of highly effective teenagers, doing first things first. And the very first thing everybody should do is what? Make their bed.
I love that. That's a good way to start off
well, there
your
was,
day, right?
I think it was a commander in the Navy or some high-ranking official. It became a very famous YouTube video. Why do we make our service people make their beds in the morning? Because they start the day having completed a task.
I'd have a sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
And
make
then
your
when
bed.
they get home at night, they could get home to peace and harmony instead of chaos, tumble bed.
Yes.
It's so, and I was so joyful to have this amazing person in charge of so many high muckamuckas. That's one of the main things that they advocate is make your bed.
Well, here's what we do know. How you do the small things is how you do the big things. And guess what? All the big things are made up of small things.
Mm-hmm.
Make your bed.
And that from being in real estate, that if you listen to people and you really are there for them and not just have already set in your mind what you think they want, but you listen to them, the very first step, the smallest step ever, is just to look in their eyes and open your ears.
Yeah.
And I love that you brought that up, because that is something that you help these kids learn and practice, because a lot of them are so used to just communicating over their Instagram or text message, and they're not talking.
I'm trying, Delorese, I'm trying to start this new app. You click on it, and then these words pop up. You don't want to know what the words say? Look up.
Yay! That's amazing. Look at me. Look up at me. Yeah. I know. It's everybody. You just see the tops of their heads.
Yeah.
And that's what's so wonderful about Winners Camp. Those things, they don't even come up the mountain. And these kids, for the first time in their lives, they're looking at each other. They're opening their hearts and their souls to each other, and they're communicating in a way that really connects them as human beings and not just robots on their little thumb.
Yeah. Yeah, our kids today, they have like, their legs are weak, but they have massive thumbs.
Your kids went, so it's and you were there with Parent Day.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Kids, some parents say, my son hasn't looked me in the eye since he was 10 years old, and now he's 15, and I'm in tears. I'm a grown man in tears about my son and I are talking to each other and looking at each other in the eye. Isn't that a beautiful thing?
Yes. And I tell you, it's a huge battle. We talked about it in the beginning of the show, and Social Dilemma is the documentary that, there's billions and billions of dollars in coders and all this technology that parents are up against now. We didn't have that back in the day. You know what you were up against? Get out of the house and go play.
Play.
Tearing up your clothes because you was playing on the street. Now it's like, it's the competition with this technology is fierce, and it's a battle. So that's going to be the tagline. Send Baruka up the hill and bring Charlie down the hill.
And so the summer camp, it takes place in July, right? July. Yeah. There's the camper, and then there's leadership. Tell us about those dates.
Okay, so July 17th to the 23rd are for the campers. That means people who haven't been to camp at all. And then July 14th to the 23rd are kids who have been to camp, and will be their second camp, and they're called junior leaders. And then after that, you become a senior leader, and then a team leader, and then, a facilitator. So you can be with me and Winners Camp for about 12 years. And kids go all the way through college. They come back every summer, and they're leaders at camp. And it's just parents and their kids say it really opens the doors to them being together again and being a family.
Yeah. I think that's important because we've lost touch with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then with your camp being closed down during COVID, I know that there was a lot of
pent-up demand.
Yeah. So tell us, is there anything that's new that we should know about that's happening with Winners Camp since the reopening?
Okay, so I'm positively telling you and letting everybody listen that the most important thing we will be working with this first camp is getting kids back in touch with their heart space and in touch with being with each other. They have been so isolated and so alone, and it's amazing how happy they are just to hug each other again, just to and especially their parents. The parents drop them off, and it's a little pat on the back. And then when they come back, and they're just hugging them and crying and looking at each other, it's awesome. It's going to be especially healing. This will be a healing camp.
Yeah.
So many kids have been isolated and alone and don't even know how to be with their parents anymore.
And one of the things that, Adrian was telling me a story. She's talking with her daughter, and her friends are like, well, how much is it? And she says the price. And I looked at Adrian and I said, parents, you're spending more money on an iPhone than what this camp costs. Are you kidding me? Go to my website. There is a finance plan. It's on my website. It's called figureitout.com.
I love it.
And the finance plan is located there on that website, figureitout.com.
Figure out a way to get your kids to Winners Camp.
Yeah.
It's a life-changing experience for them.
we never turn anyone away. Okay, so you know that. Okay,
Mhm.
we never turn anyone away. So we'll always make sure somehow or other there's somebody out there listening right now that maybe had somebody mentor them when they were lost and isolated, and now this is your time to give back.
Yes.
Now, I know that when my kids had attended winter's camp in the past, there was, you had foster children, you had, kids from, very affluent private schools and everything in between. So, I mean, it just, and they had the opportunity to bond and get to know each other and just be kids.
Well,
It's really amazing. So the kids that have had everything given to them realize that not everyone has a roof over their head, has meals every day. So they become more empathetic to the other beings on the planet. And then the kids who have those challenges look at the kids that are successful and say, someday I'm going to be like that and I will achieve that success. So it works so well. Both ends of the spectrum get to meet and get to be with each other in a way that never has happened ever before. And I just love it.
And you know what? The commonality between the well-to-do kids and the kids that are not well-to-do and the ones that are outgoing and the ones that are introverted, you know what the commonality is? They got to make their bed in the morning.
That's right.
That's so true. That's so wonderful. What a way to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Now, do you still have room for more campers?
Yeah.
And what's the deadlines to get
You
signed
got
up?
more room for some more Verucas?
Yes, of course, always. There's always room. We never turn anyone away. And
Yeah.
everybody waits for the last day. We will always make it happen.
I like that.
We have so many people that have been to camp and they haven't, for so many years, they haven't been able to give back, and they're so excited to come back and be leaders. So we have the best team of leaders ever.
I think you're so compelling in your story, and we love you so much. How tall are you, Delorese? How tall are you?
Barely 5 feet.
And the reason why I asked that is, folks, this lady is barely 5 feet tall, but in our minds and hearts, she's 10 feet tall with what she's doing in our community. So I think Adrian and I will talk about it after the show. But I think you got, Adrian, what do you think? You think they have some scholarship money coming from Team Lally?
Yes, there's
I think
definitely
so.
there's some scholarship money coming from Team Lally for any of the families in need.
Yeah. So we'll provide you an amount. You can use that any way you want to spread it around. Yeah.
You've always been so kind and generous, and especially giving me this opportunity to let the general population know about us. And thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Full beingness. Anything that anybody can contribute to let these kids go and let them know. One thing, do you know how many kids that come to camp that they've said they've never had a home cooked meal?
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And so this is the wonder of camp, because we have these parents like yourself who come up and make home cooked meals. Like what's that meal with the mashed potatoes and the hamburger and the gravy, and it's just it used to be called Chinese pie or something.
Yeah.
But
Shepherd's pie.
It's amazing. Shepherd's pie.
Yes.
Shepherd's pie.
You know what? That's appropriate because you are shepherding these kids away from technology and into being little human beings.
I knew you would somehow or other tie that in.
I'm the tie-in specialist.
Okay, thank you so much for having me.
Sure.
Thank you for having your kids join us, and I'm looking forward to them being leaders, and I'm looking forward to you guys coming up and telling kids about how you can start your own TV show.
That's it. We're gonna.
We'll come out and speak and inspire.
Yes, I will be giving them all the 3 main points of how to be successful in life, and I'll be covering those points from my website, figureitout.com.
No. We'll give them more points.
We're gonna give them the real. We'll give them the real deal.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Love you guys. Thank you for everything you do.
Thank you, Delorese. We love you too.
We love you too.
Okay. Malamat po.
Okay, so that was Delorese with the Winners Camp. You can find them. Just Google Winners Camp. You can go to winnerscamp.com.
Yeah,
sign your kids up,
winnerscamp.com.
donate. If you got.
Let's talk about the drunk monkeys. Let's talk about the monkeys that are happening in parents' minds right now. We got a couple minutes left in the show. What's one of the drunk monkeys? By the way, a drunk monkey is not a monkey you get from Costa Rica and you give them alcohol. That's not what I mean. It's that voice in the back of your head that says, my child's not going to go.
I'm not going to be able to get them to go.
I'm not going to be able to get them up the hill. It's too expensive.
I have an idea.
What's that?
You can just trick them and tell them that you're taking them to McDonald's.
Yeah.
And then bring them to
McDonald's newest location is at the top of the Hawaii Kai Kolau mountain range. Just open. Say, and then you drop them off at the entrance. You say, I pre-ordered. You got to go around the corner over there and pick it up. I'll be right back. I just go and park.
They might be
at home.
They might be a little upset at first, but they'll love you at the end.
Yeah. I mean, just short of like the Winners Camp sending out an unmarked van with some big dudes to grab your kids off of they're not going to be on the street. They're on these stinky phones in their room. So they might have to kick your front door in, get them off the video games, the phones, throw a bag over their head, duct tape them, throw them in the back of the van and take them up to Winners Camp. We're not saying that that's what you're going to do, but you know what? I would tell you, if you're a parent and you truly love your child, just short of that, do that. But just short of that.
I think kids need a chance.
Cajole them.
Kids need a chance just to be kids.
What's his name? What's the comedian? Simon. What's his name? Seinfeld.
Yes.
He said, look at kids during Halloween. They're like, candy. We got to get the candy. I need the candy. Give me candy. Candy. So if we left it up to kids, they would just be doing stuff like just figuring out how to get more candy. You're the adult. You're the parent. You got to take that Snickers away and you got to eat it. That's what I did with my kids during Halloween. I took all the candy. I ate them. No, I didn't do that. I said, you know what? Daddy needs to inspect this candy. I'll be right back.
Say that's enough. You don't need all that.
Yeah, you don't need all that candy. And I would secretly throw it away and eat some. But anyway, get them up to camp.
Winnerscamp.com.
As if their lives depended on it. Because does it, Adrian?
It does.
Does their lives depend on it?
Yeah, they're going to learn some leadership skills that are going to stay with them for the rest of their lives. This is not stuff they're going to learn in school.
You worried about global warming, carbon footprints, political unrest? We need to mold the leaders of the future. And it starts right now with you parents getting those little heinies up that hill.
That's right.
Winnerscamp.com.
There's no excuses.
No excuses.
All right. Thanks for listening. And thank you to our sponsors.
Joey and Derek of Pacific Rim Mortgage.
Bradley with Allstate Insurance.
Kenji with Pillar Post Home Inspections.
John with Kilauea Pest Control.
Duke, Hawaii Pacific Property Management.
Kyle of Impact Wealth Solutions.
Robinson of Fine Line Paintworks.
Chastity of American Floor and Home.
Jake with Skytech Construction, Roofing and Solar.
Ryan with Zero Res Hawaii.
If you want to get a hold of any of our sponsors, just go to teamlally.com.
We also want to give a big thank you to Leah Rodriguez, our producer here in the studio.
Yee-hoo.
Make sure to tune in next week. We'll have an awesome guest talking about something that'll change your life.
Forever. This is the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home on the guaranteed
sold program. If we can't sell your home with agreed upon price and or time frame, we'll have it bought for cash.
Thanks and aloha.
The preceding program was sponsored by Team Lally.